together someday for you, right? And that's the story of Daryl Maria. That's the story of me and Gina. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen quickly. It was a long daily process. It was a process of ups and downs. It was a process of, can I do this? Can I not do this? It's a process, well, I'm too short. I'm too ugly, right? I mean, I don't have the right teeth. I didn't go to the right schools. I don't know the right people. I mean, you start to get in your own head. And as you study human nature and you get around in a people business, you figure out that everybody does the same thing. Every one of us has that little big person on the shoulder trying to tell us that we're not good enough. Trying to talk us out of our promise, right? But guys, it's a simple business, and if there's any one thing that we brought to the table, is we simply didn't quit. That's if you want the secret, that's it. Just don't quit. If you just you got Daryl in the back going like this, because he understands that principle. Daryl and Maria couldn't quit. When they first came on board, they had multiple chances to mean, hey, this thing isn't taking off right away. They had people trying to take them to the left, to the right. When we talked privately, Daryl's like, dude, I just thank my lucky stars that we decided, you know what, we're going to stick this thing out. We're just going to stick this thing out. And if you become one of those people, man, I'm just going to stick this thing out. Incredible things are going to happen for you, especially with our company, okay? Because our company's special. Not all companies are created equal. Now, there's only about 6 to 12 companies in the history of our industry that have ever gone to $1 billion a year in revenue, okay? Say that again. There's only 6 to 12 companies in the history of our industry that have ever gone to $1 billion per year in annual revenue. Amway, Mary Kay, Herbalife, NSA, Juice Plus, we know some of the names, okay? One of those companies got to $1 billion a year, and they went out of business. Now, they didn't go out of business for a lack of sales. They didn't go out of business for a lack of enthusiasm. Every time they did an event, 20,000 people showed up. They went out of business because they got stupid, okay? There's no other way of saying it. They went into China without any restrictions. And to make a long story short, they lost $150 million in China, okay? Then they come back. They're a travel company, by the way. They come back, and they take $26 million of their precious capital. And they say, we're going to go build a mobile app that's going to compete with Apple Pay and Google Pay. What were you even thinking? You're going to Apple? You're going to Google? Stay in your lane. You're a travel company. What were you thinking? And then they had travel that was all based on everyone being together. They didn't have the getaways. So when you guys look at our getaways, you can go for 7 nights, 8 days. You can get a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, full kitchen, living room. I got Troy Beth over like, been on a bunch of them. That's right. Guys, during the pandemic, we doubled in size as a company. How do you double in size during a pandemic? Because everything was closed. The pools were closed. The ice rinks were closed. The skating rinks were closed. The playgrounds in California had yellow tape around like it was a crime scene, right? They closed the playground. Not, your kid can't go down the slide, not safe, right? They closed everything. But the resorts were open. The resorts never closed. And if you were with Trevorian, you could have gotten a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, full kitchen, living room, dining room, flat screen TV, fireplace, jacuzzi tub in the master suite. You can have Instacart drop off food to your door. You've got your own kitchen. They got hiking, biking, pool tables, foosball tables, right? And people were all tied up in their house thinking like, oh my gosh, this Trevorian company, I get a 2-bedroom in Vegas for $100 for all 8 days. And our business boomed because we had getaways. But this other travel company I'm talking about, they didn't have getaways. They only had a kind of travel where we're all together, kumbaya. Let's get around the campfire. Well, nobody wanted to be around the campfire to go over the pandemic. That was strike 3. They lost $150 million in China. They blew $26 million on their own mobile app. And then they didn't have any getaways like we did. And $1 billion company disappeared. Okay? That company said, if you'll join our company and pay $130 a month, we'll give you 1 vacation a year at the end of 12 months. You had to wait 12 months before you could go on any vacation. That company that went to $1 billion a year left leg and 30 people in your right leg will pay you $300 a month. Now, Trevorian, do you have to wait 12 months to go on vacation? No. Do you only get one vacation? No. You get 2 vacations. Yes. And you can be on your first vacation with the trip incentive within your first 45 days. In Trevorian, does it take 30 left, 30 right to make $300 a month? No. No, in fact, with 8 left, 8 right, I can make $400 to $700 a month. Okay? And with 30 left, 30 right, I'm $2,000 a month. That company went to $1 billion a year in sales with an inferior product, with an inferior compensation program. We're doing $50 million this year. We are doubling in size every 8 months. Does anybody still wonder where this thing is going? We are on our way to $1 billion per year. But that doesn't mean anything if you don't go to work. It doesn't mean anything if you don't do the things that are required to have success. Because don't get me wrong, you can join the company on amazing trips. You can save amazing money. And you can. And it's fun. But a lot of you probably want to get some of that money too. Right? You don't just want to be sitting here going, yay, Daryl and Maria are making $5 million this year. Oh, I don't have money for the power bill, but don't worry about that. Daryl and Maria, they're buying a yacht. You don't want to be those people. You want to be one of the people that you're getting some of the money, right? So it doesn't mean to be anything if you're in the right place, right time, if you don't do something about it. Okay? Now, I teach a course called The Biblical Secrets of Network Marketing. So when Jesus died, doesn't matter what you believe, when he died, did he die alone? No. There was a guy on his left, and there was a guy on his right. Okay? Now, the one guy says, Jesus, when you enter your kingdom, will you remember me? And he says, I promise you from this day forward, you'll be in paradise. Now, both guys were in the right place at the right time. If there were ever 2 guys in the right place at the right time, it was these 2 guys. But only one did something about it. So one went up, and the other went to a place we don't even want to talk about. You have to do something about it, okay? Now, I get that sometimes it's hard, because Daryl touched on this morning. We've been taught our entire life. Our entire society has been taught. Go to school, get good grades, get a degree, get a job, it's all going to be okay. And there was a time that was true. How many of you remember the show The Radio Age? Right? You had one person working, and they even had a maid. Alice, they can afford a maid. One person working can provide a middle-class lifestyle. That's the way it was. There was a time that was true. But guys, if you don't know this, that in Washington, D.C., they like to spend money, right? Both parties. This is not an indictment of any one party. They both do it, okay? In raising taxes, it's not a popular thing to do, right? So what they do is they just print money, right? They call it, well, it's deficit spending, right? What it means is we spent more than we took in, which means you got to go print money, which means the money you have right now becomes less valuable. So picture there's $1 billion in circulation, okay? And I have 500 million of the whole billion, okay? That means I can go buy 500 million cheeseburgers. But then they go print another billion. They just made my money half as much. I can't buy 500 million cheeseburgers. I can only buy 250 million cheeseburgers. They made my money less valuable. That makes sense? Yeah. This is what keeps happening in our society. That's why prices keep going up, if you hadn't noticed, right? Some of you are like, I didn't even notice. They just keep getting more expensive, right? So they keep printing money, which makes things more and more expensive. But wages are not keeping up with the cost of living. So, it used to be one person working, middle-class lifestyle, until that didn't work. But it was okay, because there was a remedy. Someone's got to get a part-time job. So somebody, I'm working full-time, maybe my spouse is working part-time, we're back to middle class, life is good. Until they kept printing money. That wasn't working. So now we're both working full time. We're back to middle class, right? We're at the country club, life is good, right? We're going golfing, we're middle class, life is good. But they kept printing money. Suddenly that wasn't working. So you got two people working full time, and now someone's got to get a part-time job in addition to the full-time. Until that wasn't working. Today, you got both mom and dad working full-time. They're driving Uber on the weekend, and they're not even middle class. The average income in the United States per household is $74,000 a year. To be middle class in the state of Illinois, where I'm from, because not all states are equal. California, expensive. Hawaii, expensive. Mississippi, not so expensive. Okay? Illinois is ranked 26. It's right in the middle. To be middle class in the state of Illinois requires $130,000 a year. The problem is, the average household makes $74,000 a year. These kids coming out of college, the average house today is almost $400,000. You have to make $120,000 a year to qualify for a loan to buy a $400,000 house. They don't make enough money. That's why they're living in their parents' basement. I mean, you hear both parties talking about it, right? I don't care who your party is. They're both talking about it. But the problem is no one has a real solution. You know who does have a real solution? David Hart. Chamorian. Showing people how to make more money. Showing people how to make residual money. Right? So the problem is that people aren't even middle class, which is why the fastest growing segment of the economy is the gig economy. 1/3 of our population, 1 out of 3. Guys, go back 20 years ago. What I'm about to say is unthinkable. If I'd have made this statement 20 years ago, you'd be, man, that boy was smoking the grass. He wasn't cutting the grass, he was smoking the grass. If I just, 1 out of 3 people are working a side hustle. 1 out of every 3 human beings in these United States is working a side hustle. They're doing Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Instacart, Airbnb, selling stuff on eBay, selling stuff on Amazon, YouTube videos, TikTok videos, all kinds of crazy stuff. Here's the problem. You know the average Uber driver makes $19 an hour. It's good, it brings money in, which they need, but it's just another job. It doesn't solve the problem. It's just another job. In fact, do you realize that all of the big platforms that we celebrate every day are really companies that recognize what I'm stating? Let me give you an example. How many of you think Amazon's a pretty cool thing? Oh yeah, Amazon. Oh man, that's awesome. Jeff Bezos, number 2 richest man in the world, love Amazon. Do you know that over 50% of what's sold on Amazon comes from little independent people like you and me that ship our stuff into the warehouses trying to make money? Jeff recognized what I'm talking about. He recognized that more and more people are looking for a way to make extra money. He built an entire platform where independent people can send their stuff in and try to make a little money. He became the 2nd richest man in the world doing that. I think he's actually 3rd richest man in the world doing that. eBay. What is eBay? Place where little independent people like you and me go sell our stuff to make some money. How many of us, oh yeah, eBay, that's a big company, technology company. It is an opportunity platform. Uber, right? I'm at my house in Vegas the other day. We got to go to the airport. Let's just call it Uber. Yeah, car shows up, picks us up, takes us to the airport. Man, how cool is that? What is Uber? It's an opportunity platform where you can use your own car to make some money. Instacart, oh man, that's awesome. They got this technology, this app. They drop the food off right at my front door. What is Instacart? It's an opportunity platform where average people can use their own car to go make some money. I can continue. YouTube. Google owns YouTube. Does Google make YouTube videos? No. Those 20 billion videos on YouTube, where do they come from? People like you and me. We're the ones making YouTube videos. Right? It's an opportunity platform where average people can join because I'm trying to make some money. I could go on and on. Some of the biggest companies, Airbnb, oh man, I love Airbnb. It's an opportunity platform where I can put my house on there so I can make some money. The biggest companies you guys talk about every day and celebrate every day are nothing more than companies who recognize exactly what I just stated. That the average person ain't making it, What they're doing ain't working, and they're looking for a new way to make money. But the problem is they're not teaching that in school. My daughter graduated with an MBA in business, a master's in business. She went to high school, went to college, went to graduate school, was never once ever taught how to invest money to make money, how to leverage money to make money, how to buy a business to make money, how to start a business to make money, how to create residual income. She was taught, get a job. Now, how many of you know people that have a job? And how many of them are rich? Look around. It's not one hand up. You know the Chinese devils of insanity doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. Okay? Now, there was a time that a speech like I'm giving today was a luxury. When Daryl Maria started their career, residual income, it was a luxury. You didn't have to have it. It was a luxury. Gang, it's no longer a luxury. People have to have a new way of making money, or they're going to get left behind. And the funny thing is that people out there, your friends, my friends, your family, my family, they're fighting us every step of the way. It's funny that they'll beat up our industry. It's the last bastion of free enterprise. The last real hope for the average person to change their lot in life. And people want to call it names and oh, you're one of them things, right? And you're one of them things that paid Daryl Maria $500,000 a year? One of them things that paid Eager and Larissa over $600,000 in their second year? Yeah, I'm in one of those things. How about one of those things that for Ambassador Deborah Taylor and her husband, the great late Guy Taylor, when Pastor Guy passed away, he was a 2-star director, which means he was making $2,000 a month. But in our company, when you're a 2-star director, if you pass away, the money doesn't stop. That money keeps coming in. It comes in month after month. The only question is, who's the check go to? Is it go to your spouse, your kids, your grandkids, your dog, your goldfish? Right? It'll go to whoever you leave it to. They left it to the grandkids, Ava and Gracie. Well, guess what? All those customers kept telling people that check went from $2,000 a month to $4,000 a month to $6,000 a month to $8,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $12,000 a month, $14,000 a month. He's about to become a 2-star ambassador. When he died, he was a 2-star director. He's about to become a 2-star ambassador. Since he died. Who thinks that, man, that sounds a little better than what I'm doing on my JOB? And your friends or family are like, whoa, don't bring that near me. I wouldn't want none of that. What? Whose side are you on? And so I'm giving a long prelogue here to the guys. What we're doing is incredible. We're bringing a brand new model to the single largest industry in the world. You don't have to like the model. We don't have to become the biggest. Do you realize that we capture 1/4 of 1% of the soon-to-be $15.5 trillion travel industry? That makes us a $38 billion company. Netflix does $32 billion a year. It makes us a $38 billion company. 1/4 of 1%. Now we have a gentleman here, by the way. I'm not going to point him out unless he wants to point himself out. That he booked this hotel. In fact, do you mind? Come on up here real quick. Everybody give him a hand.